Hi guys, this review is on the Paladin Caernarvon Action X, a new tier 8 British premium heavy tank. It plays up to tier 10, got a 50% silver bonus and a 15% XP bonus. Nothing outstanding there, but it gets the job done. If I was going to sum up this tank very quickly, I'd say it's the British Patriot. The American Patriot has got decent-ish hull armour, but its main strength is that it's got a good turret, good gun depression and a fast firing gun. And it's a similar thing here. The Patriot's probably a little bit more mobile than this, but I don't find this too slow. It trundles around at about 35, so while that's not fast medium tank speeds, you can hold the ridge line with it easy enough. You know, you can move around the ridge, reposition and things like that should you need. There's more to this tank than the name suggests though. For one, whilst yes, it's a Caernarvon hull and it's got an Action X turret, it's also got the heat shields from the Conqueror slapped on both sides. They're not going to improve your base armor rating that much at all, but they do give you some protection from heat shells and HE shells, and when you hold down that comes in you, and also against artillery, as we're going to see in this. I came to this part of the map because normally when I go to the other part where you're fighting through those kind of little kind of valley kind of bits, I'm always getting hit by artillery every time. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to come this way for a change. Even though this is more open, I'll head here because I don't want to get one bombed at the start of the game. And there's plenty of little undulations in the terrain and things where I could use the gun depression on this tank and the turret armor, sorry, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I'll drive over here. The gun on this tank is really quite good. I'll go into the stats on the gun in just a moment. I just want to talk through this part of the battle first of all. So I came here to hopefully avoid artillery shells, like I said. But then that happens and I'm thinking, buggy. Because, well, I'm next in line, aren't I? Here you can see the rate of fire at work on the gun though. Unfortunately there's no outline on the replay system, so you can't see what I'm shooting at. But you can see, like I said, the speed of the reload. The alpha damage on the gun is about 230, so it's not going to do huge chunks of damage, but you're going to wear people down pretty quick. Move there and just about managed to avoid the artillery shell. But another one hit me. Now that would have penned me, apart from the fact that it hit the heat shield there. So all I suffered was splash damage. If that had hit me, it would have penned my turret, which would have, you know, I might have lost my ammo rack there and been out of the game. But the heat shield thankfully saved me from that, so I got very fortunate there, and it instantly showed how useful that can be in the right situation. Polish heavy tank is gone. I was checking here to see if the Motherland had shots on me. It doesn't. The reason I was checking that was because I want to move. You can hear those artillery shells screaming towards me. So I'm not safe where I am because it was only a matter of time until one of them hit me. Whilst I'm moving up, I'll chat about the gun a bit more. I've got a gun rammer, vertical stabilizers and ventilation. I've got a good crew and I'm running food. With all those things combined, the reload time on this is about 4.7 seconds, which is just insane. Damage wise, you're going to do 230 damage. Your standard shell penetration on it's about 226. You're looking at 258 on your premium shell. And the gun is really accurate with really good stats. Now I'll zoom in here so we can see the aiming reticule closing in. Apologise about the bumpiness, the replay system does not have vertical stabilisation. As you can see, the circle gets nice and small. It's a British tank, so you're better off letting it aim in all the way before you fire. But you can see how the DPM, it just chews through tanks. Next enemy, however, is T-34. I've got to be careful of his gun. I was hoping to use this black tank here, this destroyed one, as hold down cover, but I completely messed that up and he penned my lower plate. See the hole there? Tier 6s can pen that lower plate. This is primarily a hold down tank. You can bounce some shells from your plate if you bounce from equal or lower tier tanks, but don't count on it. When I get this thing hold down, that's where it's strength. At this point, I'm aware that the far flank has fallen. Our base is wide open. Problem for me here is that while this isn't mega slow, you know, trundling around everywhere at 35, it's not so bad. pretty much leading the charge here. I'm right at the front of the pack, so here it's up to some of those tanks at the back to go defend the base, basically. However, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they are doing. I'm not going to have time to go all the way back there. So my best bet is to keep pushing at this point. I've got to be aggressive, and I've got to see if I can get to their base before they get to ours. That is extremely risky, and it's not something I like doing, because if they get on our base now, for instance, 2 of them, game over, we've lost. But like I said, I don't quite have the speed to get back there, unfortunately. Nice to bounce a shell from the Jagdtiger. I'm pretty sure that hit the upper plate, but he was below me, so the effective armor of my upper plate at that point would have been really quite good. The angle would have been quite extreme. I look at the map here, hoping some of them are going to go cover the base, but I can see the green icons are all moving in the same direction I am, which isn't good. That means the outcome of this battle basically is going to be luck of the draw. Who gets to the other cap first? It's not a good way of winning. It's incredibly risky, but it's all I can do now. They got an hour cap at the same time that I get on theirs. But we've got to hope now that more green tanks get on this circle and no more red tanks get on theirs. What I'm doing right now is not something I like doing. I'm not a fan of capping. I think damage and kills is the best way to win, but if you have to cap, then do it. I don't think anyone should early cap. I think if it's an encounter and you're driving straight to the enemy circle with the intention of capping it, you're probably going back to the garage pretty quick. However, here, our fast tanks, because we do have a few, we've got a Batchat, we've got a Waffenträger off Panzer IV. They could potentially defend our base, but they're engaging in a firefight here. I could, if I wanted to, farm damage, go to the top of the ridge and shoot the 3 heavy tanks low down with impunity, but then that defender over there would cap and win the team, win the game, sorry, for the red team. Here I've got 2 choices. I can farm damage and pad my stats a little bit, or I can sit in this bloody circle, board as anything for 40 odd seconds and get the win. Whilst I do like getting damage, the win takes priority. But capping, in my opinion, should be a last resort. It should be used to get the win if it's the only way to get the win. Other than that, I do think damage and kills should be the way to do it. Our light tanks realise I might as well just cap out now, just play it safe, because our tanks are losing the battle down there anyway. If we'd have gone for damage, we would have lost. These are just my opinions, by the way. I know everyone has their own opinions on it. I'm not trying to say anyone must do it this way. You know, it's a game. You play it your way. This is just my opinion. I do personally think there's flaws with both the cap all the time argument and the no cap kill all no matter what argument. I do think it has a purpose in the game, but only as a last resort. For instance here, I capped that, I got like half of the points I believe, but I did my bit. You know, I contributed to the game, I did decent damage, decent assist, blocked a chunk, and came up top. So whilst I capped and did get the 48 cap points, I also contributed. And if you're going to do that, then I think, you know, and it's not so bad. That's my defence at least anyway. Enough of that though, back onto the tank. With this one having an insane rate of fire, decent penetration, decent accuracy, good turret armour, okay mobility. The hull armour, like I said, isn't great, but I do think this is a very strong premium tank in my opinion. If you like your hull down gameplay, getting this one is a no-brainer. If you can't get it right now, then I'd say, you know, get it on a sale. I don't think the price on this one's too bad, to be fair. You know, they're not charging 13 or 14,000 for it. Here's the stats. Obviously, that is what the stats look like without things like gun rammers and crew skills and things applied there. Obviously, just the base stats, and they're pretty good at that. I'll bring up its gun. Got minus 10 degrees of gun depression, like a lot of the British tanks. If you use that minus 10 degrees, nothing's bending your turret. Well, providing you hide your turret ring. Some tier 10 TDs and things can bend the turret ring because, you know, they don't care about armour thickness. The top of the turret is a bit weaker, as you can see. It's slightly green, the hue there, but because of the extreme angle, the effectiveness isn't bad at all. But you do want to be using your gun depression if possible. The lower plate is just paper. The upper plate, if you angle it, you can bounce some lower tier shells and maybe some same tier ones, but nothing really above that. The reef of the hull is thin, so you don't want to be face hugging E100s because they'll just overmatch the top of that. In your side armour, it's not great, so if you're side scraping on this, you're trying to use your tracks to absorb or block enemy shots, not your armour so much. If you over angle when you're side scraping, enemy shells are going to cut straight through your side, so you do have to be careful with that. I'll just bring up the Action X so you can see the turret on that. There we go. Right, so the values, like I said, they're the same, it's just the Paladin has those heat shields, which are incredibly useful. This tank is, I think it's really good, and I think it's one to watch out for, to be fair. It's going to be a dangerous tank to be up against. And yeah, I do recommend purchasing this one, to be fair. I'm really grateful for both Lee and David for gifting this one to me. It's a good tank, and my daughter loves it too because it's got a bloody unicorn on the side. No doubt I'll be using this tank all the time now. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like or subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I'll get another video out for you soon. Thank you.